Hello and welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video I have two amazing chess puzzles I wanted to share with you, but this first one will completely blow your mind and will completely change your understanding of chess. I am not kidding you, it's that good. You will see it. You wouldn't believe when I show you the right move and what's the winning idea for white. Believe it or not, white actually has a forced sequence and a forced checkmate in 7 moves. If he finds the right move, of course. I will not show you the right move from the get-go. We will first go through some ideas that most players would try in this sort of position, so we will start with that. And of course the second puzzle is also really famous, actually made famous by chess grandmaster and streamer Hikaru Nakamura. When you see the position, you will immediately notice, probably if you saw his clip, you will know the solution, and it's really fun and it's really interesting. And these sort of positions might happen. You will see the Hikaru's puzzle. It might happen to you in game, so it will be really useful as well to know this sort of positions and how to solve it. So firstly we will start with some normal moves. So let's say white is to play, of course, in this position, and let's say white tries knight e2 with the idea to move this knight and try to maneuver around these pawns, maybe infiltrate black's position and try and take these pawns and create some sort of a pawn break on this king's side. So then black would probably continue with b5, pushing away this king. After king b3, black king would probably go with king b6, of course moving your king towards the center and trying to push these pawns. Right now white might try something like e5. We will see what would happen. For example, with e5, if you try e5, then black king will immediately try and get inside your position. So after king c3, you obviously don't want to allow him to enter the position. After king d5, king d3 and b4, white is actually losing here because black has 4 pawns for your piece and black is clearly winning. He will just continue pushing his pawns. Your infiltration is not good at all. If you move your king, he will continue advancing his king here. He will pick up your pawns and he will just swarm you with his pawns. There is no way you will stop his advancement. He also has this pawn, he has a pawn, and this sort of tactic will not work in this position. So you would have to try something else in this position. So that's why after knight e2, let's say something else happens, b5, black will probably continue the same, king b3, king b6, and right now maybe you can try and play instead of e5, maybe you can immediately try and jump with your knight in the position and try to maybe infiltrate or create a pawn break. In this sort of positions, black would probably continue the same with king c5, right now attacking your knight here. If you decide to defend, black can try with b4 to remove your king. Of course, if you move your king, your knight will fall here, so this is not good as well. And after king d3, black will probably continue with a5. Right now he has these open pawns and he's trying to get as soon as possible to the ending of his on the first rank and to promotion of a queen. So it's really tough for white. White can now maybe try with knight b3 check. After king b5, maybe knight d4 is a way to go. So black, of course, doesn't want to repeat the moves. He wants to avoid the draw, and he can maybe continue with king a4, pardon me. So right now, maybe you are thinking to create some sort of a pawn break with some sacrifice with a knight takes on e6. This is not good as well. I will now show you why. For example, if you do this, there is no need for me as a black to take your knight. I can just continue pushing my pawn, and right now you are forced to go back. There is not enough time to move around with your knight. You have to go back with knight c5, and after king b4, your knight is again attacked. Right now you are forced to probably give up your knight. Not probably, but you have to give up your knight in this position. So after king picking up on b3, then maybe you can try and create a pawn break here. In this way, you are trying your best to at least pull up your queen. You will be able to do that, but unfortunately it wouldn't be good for you. I will now show you why. So black will continue with c5 here. And after you pick up this, again, I'm not forced as black in the previous position you saw to pick up your pawns at all. I can just continue picking up and gaining a tempo here. So I continue with c4 as black. After you move your king, I can now pick up your pawn because right now your pawn is on the on the 4th rank and you continue with e5, I will continue pushing my pawn, e6, I continue again, e2, and now I will promote my queen, and after you promote your queen, I will pick up your pawn on g5, and as you can see here, it's really difficult for white to play. Maybe white can try and start checking the black king. Maybe you will probably, not maybe, but you will win this pawn, but still, this is 2 pawns for in the queen endgame. Yes, queen endgames are one of the hardest. You must be careful about not getting in some sort of a skewer attack or something like this, but 2 pawns are just winning here, and there is nothing you can do as white. Black can just simply push his pawns, protect his king from the checks, and he will promote because his king is so deep. His king is not on the 8th rank, and already he has a huge advantage. Computer gives this evaluation 6.03, so you can see this position is pretty much over. Yes, you need to win, but it's over for white. So this was the one line again that white might try, and it's not good. It prolongs the game, but it's not good. Black is winning here. Now we will go back to our starting position. So in our starting position, instead of playing knight e2, there is one move that actually wins us, and wins us by force. And I will now show you why. So the winning move, believe it or not, is knight to b5. Knight to b5 with the idea that black is now forced to pick up this knight. If black simply avoids this, the point of this knight is not just infiltrating and picking up this pawn. It's actually a checkmate threat here. So if you play something else, for example, if you avoid this trade, then knight c7 is a checkmate. So with this move, you are forced to pick up this knight. After picking up this knight, we continue with knight b4. As you can see, you have a 4 pawns here, but unfortunately for you, you cannot move them. Your king is stuck here, and it's like you have no pawns at all. And it's even worse because your king is passive. You cannot move your king. So that's the idea behind this move. And right now, black has a few possibilities, but again, there is no way stopping the checkmate. So let's say black plays e5 here. You will, of course, pick up this pawn. And after this f6, black will create a pawn break. Of course, you will not be able to stop this pawn, but you don't care about that. You just want to continue playing the game, and it's good for you that you are not able to do that, because it will be a stalemate. As you can see, black cannot move either of his pawns, and he cannot move his king, so you have to be careful. You have to give black enough time and give black a tempos for him to play. So of course you have to give him a free pawn in this position. So you will continue with e6, and right now whatever he does, he can pick up this pawn, he can continue with f5. We just don't care about that. We continue with e7. After he plays f4, hoping that he will maybe promote, we can promote to a knight. Yes, queen wins here. Of course, if you promote to a queen, you can checkmate with queen picking up with b5, but we wanna go for style points, and we go for e8 and promotion of a knight. And after f3, we go with knight c7 checkmate. That's the way we finish this game. So as I told you, truly an amazing chess puzzle, and something you don't see every day. These positions can happen, although really rarely, but just a way of seeing the board and seeing the way you can move your pieces, and how these 5 pieces here are completely useless and stuck on one side of the board, and you can do pretty much anything here. On the right side of the board, they cannot leave this cage, unfortunately for black. Also, there is some other ideas for black. So black, for example, doesn't need to go this way, but whatever the black does, he is losing the game. So after king b4, for example, black can maybe try f5. In these sort of positions, you will just again pick up this with en passant move, and after g5 is played, you continue with f7. Again, you want to give your opponent moves with these pawns. You don't want to block him or pick up all of his pawns. And after g4 is played, again you can promote to a knight. Of course you can promote to a queen and win in 2 moves, but again we are going for style points with this move. And now whatever the black does, black can maybe push his pawns, or maybe black can push his other pawn. Whatever the black does, we just don't care about that. We continue. If black plays, for example, like g3, we will continue with picking up this pawn, and after g2 is played, almost again knight c7 is a checkmate. Truly wonderful ending, and I'm sure You love this chess puzzle, guys. And now we will go to the second chess puzzle, the famous Hikaru Nakamura puzzle. So this is the famous position from Hikaru Nakamura's stream. If you remember his famous clip, check, 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 then knight f8, and we pick up the queen. That's the famous famous puzzle, of course, and the famous video from his stream. So white to play and win. So firstly, we need to give a discover check with knight e6. Right now, this queen is hanging, and black is forced to block this check with queen g8. Now, we don't want to trade because this will be a draw. We cannot checkmate with our knight. That is the reason we need to give queen a1 check. Right now, black cannot cover this check with his queen because it will be a checkmate. It is covered by this knight. So black is forced to go king h7. We continue with queen b1 check, king h8, queen b2 check, king h7, queen c2 check, king h8, queen c3 check. Slowly but surely we are getting closer to the black king. King h7, queen d3 check, king h8, queen d4 check, king h7, queen e4 check, king h8, queen e5 check, king h7, queen f5 check, king h8, and right now queen f6 check. Again, the last available move for black is to play king h7, and right now after knight f8, this is a checkmate unless you pick up this knight, and after that we will pick up your queen and we will simply win the game. So this is the end of this puzzle. This position actually can happen in game, not so often obviously, and not often as the previous puzzle, but it can happen actually, and it's good to know this idea of staircase with the queen. So there is a way of winning these sort of positions with queen staircase. As you see, queen is a very mobile piece, and it can and she can come to the desired squares after giving a lots of checks. And this was the end of this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to leave a comment, like and share the video, as this helps me a lot. Also, make sure to share your thoughts on this sort of chess puzzles. Were you able to solve the previous chess puzzle? And if you like, you can give your suggestions about future videos. If you enjoy these sorts of videos with chess puzzles, with weird chess positions, I will continue making them. I saw that the previous chess puzzle was really nice in the terms of feedback. People really liked it, although it is completely imaginary chess puzzle. So I think I will continue making those sorts of videos. And as always, thank you for watching, guys, and we will see each other in the next video. Have a nice night. Bye bye.